Okay, here we go then. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to TFC Open Mic. It's season 2, episode 24. It says time to tickle your. I don't know what Leon put. Time to tickle something. Anyway,
Time to tickle your monos.
your monos.
Yeah.
Oh, don't. That's not a good. Do you know what? That's not a good subject to start with. Don't start George off yet. Jeez. Right.
Someone's getting
Yeah.
tickled.
So we're a little way into the raid and that sort of stuff, and yeah, welcome all in chat, and thanks for taking time out of your raid to, or maybe you're just sick of raiding already and thought you'd just come on and listen to us babble on for a little bit. It's been an interesting start to the raid, I must admit. It's I think I mean, personally, I think it's the target pop-ups have been smooth. I've not seen too much, obviously, glitching around. No, I'm trying to be serious. Sorry, it's not working. Oh, okay, right. And cue George. Go, George. Go on. I'm getting a beer.
I'll wait. You can do the regular thing. I'll blow my gasket later, and I'm not actually going to blow my gasket. It's just I wish they would.
Okay, I'll start the regular thing then. So, Robin, how's the raid been for you so far, and have you noticed any glitches?
Oh, you mean I get to get in before, George?
Yeah, exactly. You'll cut in sometime, but don't worry about it.
Actually, no, it's been pretty good. A little tedious just because it is the third one of the kind. Happy there's no second S target. The only the good thing is I've not had any issues of targets regenerating like we had last time. Had no spawning issues. Have not had any issues finding any targets. George will touch on it later. Kind of like some phantom damage coming from phantom weapons. But on the whole, it's been really interesting, and I've actually seen some really creative fleets being used. We've got one guy running around with a Punisher and some monos, and then with his Punisher tank, and then was happy to see a lot of people out there with a lot of their brand new Zealous tanks. So on the whole, my world, it's been very positive. Did I lose you guys?
No, I think
he literally went to get a beer.
Okay, well,
He literally went to get a beer.
Oh,
okay.
So who's next? That would be Peter.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm last.
The raid's been decent so far, though I have noticed that the Apollo seems to unshroud a little more frequently than it did in the past raids. The only glitch I've really noticed is with the Ragnarok Heavy Mortar on my Empyreans. For some reason, the Merv projectiles will actually spawn behind where the main projectile detonates. Like 2 to 3 inches behind on the screen. It's just like, it doesn't affect how much damage or anything the mortars do. It's just, why are the Merv shells teleporting?
And that may actually be tied to the visual issues with some of the other stuff that George is going to talk about. But yeah, I know what you're talking about, and I have seen that occasionally.
I've been seeing it all the time.
Yeah, the stuff that I'm going to comment on are not visual issues.
Well, I didn't mean it like that. I meant just
I know.
Not happening or occurring where they're supposed to or when they should. How's that?
Yeah, some glitches. Hefe, how's yours, man?
Normally it's okay about 90% of the time, 95% of the time, but then, yeah, occasionally I'll lose my backline for no apparent reason. And
that's when I've started seeing get reported today where you're getting, is it phantom damage or is something actually hitting it?
I can't tell because I'm, it's only happened. It's only happened a couple of times, but it's, what do you mean, phantom damage? Like it's not actually happening, or
no,
it's
getting damaged. Yeah, it's getting damaged, but by nothing that you can see on the screen.
Or I'm not noticing. I mean, I have enough antis on the on my ship that it shouldn't be an issue. And then I have another issue where, even though I have 98 range, and I'm using the S buttons, sometimes doing the same thing again and again. Sometimes I'll end up in cold snap range for really no apparent reason. So a couple of things like that, and it'll ruin your day. But I'm just sort of chugging along. Besides those little issues.
Okay, Sorry, back. Had to go and get a beer.
Okay. We're still going down the line. Don't worry.
Okay, keep going.
Brian's next.
Uh,
Brian's next.
yeah, it was a bit of a rough start for me. I ended up getting better as time goes on. I'm still trying to learn the new 100. The phantom mortar that dealt me an hour's worth of damage this morning was not really appreciated. I just got 120 million, so that's the Justice and the Phoenix and all of its stuff. So I can feel my blood pressure dropping very slowly back into the normal range. And I have to do this for 4 more days. Lovely. Nah.
You getting your points that you need though?
Yeah, I'm on route for getting what I need. I might even be able to pick up the Visago's Pride. I just the monotony combined with the difficulty, combined with the expectations that is set on the players for getting what we need is all of that together. I feel is a bit too much.
Gotcha. All right, Mike, you're up.
Okay, so doing all right. I'm grinding A sets because for some reason I just can't drive the stupid 100. I may have a tank issue, I don't know, but I'm gonna get everything I want, I'm sure.
Good.
Just grinding. So no real problems in the A sets that I can see.
That's a plus. I like hearing that.
Yeah.
Mark, do you want to go ahead, Mike?
No, I'm done. Go ahead. That's fine.
I was gonna say, Mark, do you want to go first? Or you want me to rant a little bit?
Well, I was just going to say, interesting, because I mean, Nick's in chat, and I know he's been having some grief as well. And Nick's he's normally not one for keeping calm, and actually he's actually doing a lot better than normal, to be honest. And I actually really feel for him. He's the classic. No, but he's the classic example of right. What's let's go back a month and a half, and let's go for okay. You've got to get this really expensive flagship, and you've got to then put lots of these charge armors on it, and you've got to get this and that for it, and that sort of stuff. So you go forward, and you do all that, and then this generous little hull comes out, and that sort of stuff, and actually it kicks its ass as a tank, which is just gripping my shit, I have to say.
40 million points. Robin was
the millions of you've got to get for the charge armor, which is blatantly nowhere near as good as it should be. Yeah, you're right. You don't have to have it, but my God, it should be making a better difference than it is at the moment, because it doesn't seem to be making a great deal of difference at all.
And the issue is it wasn't even working for a while, as I understand it. People were sending in reports that either the bar wasn't moving or the reduction wasn't applying. And I don't know what's going on there.
Something wasn't right at all. But the fact that the grid is absolutely the second or maybe third class hull in compared to people are going to be cautious. If another flagship comes out again, they're going to be very, very cautious, I think. I'm
thankfully
disappointed.
For the next cycle though, we don't really need a flag, so that's going to be a plus. I mean, I just want it to be better than the Savage.
As long as they leave things alone.
Yeah. I mean, I do expect it to be better than using a Savage in front of the fleet. That's the only thing I want, is that it equals or surpasses the Savage. Because honestly, we can get all the buffs from the Savage. I mean, as far as the grid, I think I think you guys have seen me flip out about the grid, and I'm glad that I came up with the exploit, Zealous. But damn, dude. It shouldn't be doing better than the gridiron.
No, I understand it. It's just frustrating me and that sort of stuff that
it is. It's very frustrating.
Particularly, that's what people are supposed to be taking into the FM format now, isn't it? You should be able to finish this one off here and go, I'm absolutely set. I don't need to do a darn thing for my FM. In fact, the target should be easier. I shouldn't have a problem. I've already got the fleet. I maxed out and I got that super flag, and apart from I still think the wake system is a joke, but. And the speed, the way the two things speed up differently. But then I suppose that's why they call it a tech. For the technical people who drive. But it's just too much of a faff. It really is.
It's honestly, I find the Zealous with Speed System 4 on it to drive better as a flag than the grid. I mean, just even driving, it seems easier to me. I just
No,
I don't know.
definitely.
I'm thoroughly disappointed, thoroughly disappointed with the gridiron. But I've had my rant on that one. So
Okay, well let's move to another thing then. Okay, so let's go for
the raid.
the raid. Okay, so the
Yes.
raid. Let's have a
Robin
look
has
at the
something.
raid. Oh
Robin
yeah,
has something.
yeah, go on. Did Robin have
I think
something?
Robin
Yeah,
has
no,
something.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. I was talking to myself with the mute button on. Just
She's
wanted to
getting a
bring something.
margarita.
Just
Go on.
wanted to bring something up that when you claim points, take a screenshot beforehand. Someone contacted me yesterday and said they tried to claim the Phoenix and they already had the Justice, and it took the points, did not award the Phoenix, and even though he was showing proof that he had all of the other stuff that he was able to get afterwards, still didn't award it. And then I just had the same thing happen about an hour ago with another piece of equipment. So just pay attention to your points, pay attention that you are actually getting awarded what you're redeeming, and keep some screenshots handy, because I've just been heard of another one from somebody else too.
Eek.
Yeah, I have.
Can you
I've
not
seen
scam
two
me
of
like
those.
that because I can't get support?
Well, I've
Can
seen
you not?
two people. I've seen two people that don't have support that's happened to, and I don't know what their option is going to be. But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That is
one of
the
them.
things.
One of them happened last night when I was on the after show last night. It was for no, I can't remember what it was, but it was like 12 million points, and so I sent a ticket in for that. But yeah, so it is happening sporadically. So I'm just saying, take a screenshot beforehand, screenshot afterwards, so that way you've got some type of proof showing that you had the points to get the item in the first place.
And I
At this
feel
point, we're going to have to video everything.
I know.
well. I mean, that is a problem. Not even just with the fact that this should be working right. They've been doing it for literal years. Why the hell are you still having problems? But who would possibly think in their mind to proactively take screenshots of everything just in case something goes wrong? Like, that shouldn't be something that we have to do. Like, the game
Anyone
should
who
be.
works
I agree with you
support.
wholeheartedly. It's gotten so bad that I actually videotape my base every Monday before maintenance, just because I've had ships that have lost rank and that kind of stuff. And taking a couple of screenshots will save angst of Kick saying, well, you need to show proof that you had the points, then so be it. But yeah, we should not have to.
Okay, I have everything that I have redeemed so far. We're good? Okay.
Okay, you just checked. So actually, and evening, Daniel, how are you, mate? Good to see you. What I'll quickly just ask is, how do we think the redemption has been paid through Kixie by how you can redeem prizes, and then by changing for a limited time only during work hours for most people, the fact that you could jump straight to Phoenix, and then making it really confusing for people when they went and managed to get the Phoenix for 60 and then didn't realize they could go around and get obviously the weapon and special once it'd been gated again behind the first hull, the defender. What are your thoughts on that, mate?
Learn how to use any sort of dependencies ever, please, Kixeye. It's strange because to me it felt like there were conflicting reports of first you needed the Justice and then the Phoenix before you could get the Talon or the carbon fiber, and now apparently the in-game graphic looks like you need the Justice and then you can get either the Phoenix or the Talon or the carbon fiber. Like, you don't need the Phoenix for the latter two. And then it was ungated in the first 24 hours when things are particularly egregious and there was lag all over the place. Like this, I just don't think it was worth it. And I don't understand why they kept changing these and had such a big disparity between what was communicated in the forums about the raid, the day before, and what is shown in graphics in the raid the day of. How did these teams not, how is there no communication? Because the only way this can happen is if there's actually no communication between the two teams. This shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, I just, we've probably had more people complain on the page, particularly in the first sort of from actually about 12 hours in till about sort of 36 hours in, about the gates change and that sort of stuff, which I had to put a couple of pictures up to explain it, but even that wasn't because there was glitching also on the prize collection mechanisms as well, whereas people's areas were grayed out still, even though they could or could not sometimes still achieve the hull because they're the right prices, or the weapon itself, as you were saying there. It made things really, really confusing for people, I think. It's either lock it behind or don't lock it behind. It's annoying the fact that you've actually got to lock it behind. The ship you really, really need to progress for the next FM is locked behind a defender hull that, if you don't really care about your base too much, you've got to win first. So you've got to get a PvP before you can get a PvE. It just seemed a bit weird to me.
I liked it and the only reason that I did it was because I had planned a build to finish right when the raid started in case I needed to refit or anything. So I went out there and got the 60 million points, got the Phoenix, popped that in the oven, even though I knew I was going to get the Justice anyway. So it allowed me to get, a couple extra days worth of build time out for the new hull. But agree that it could have been handled better, a lot clearer, and why even block it anyway?
Yeah, frustrating. I know. I don't quite get it. Is anybody actually content, or do they think it's a good idea that it was unlocked for that 24-hour period, or would you just rather it just stayed as it was?
I don't mind it being unlocked. I mean, I think I would rather have seen it at the end of the raid, as like a little bonus to everybody that maybe saved their points and weren't going to be able to get it. But I keep on saying that I want them to go back to the way that they did the Hellwraith raid, because that one you got it a month early, you paid you 60 million, and it didn't cause as much of a disparity between groups of players as this does. And that's the only part that kind of worries me with this gating behind stuff. I understand they want us to pay a premium, but with, that made sense with a 4-month raid cycle. With only a 3-month raid cycle, it's kind of become a necessity. It's not a bonus to get it early. It's a necessity to get it early. And if they continue to do this gating method the month before, then I'm going to end up having, long term, it's not a good plan. Long term, this is going to do more harm to the game than good, because it's just going to keep on increasing the disparity between the have and the have-nots in the game.
I think another problem with that is because they were saying the Apollos will do B sets essentially. And we just got the preview of the S set target. So I think it stands to reason that Apollos won't be able to do the A sets well. So if someone doesn't get the Phoenix now, like, how are they going to get it? Are they going to have to pay a lot of coins with Apollos in raid 1? Because you can't even get the missile and the special until you get the Phoenix, or just whatever. It's so hard to get the weapon and special anyway. Like, if you can't get the hull, it stands to reason you couldn't get the weapon and special. And so if they tune even that, then it's going to be impossible. So then how are you ever going to get the Phoenix if you don't get it now? And why instead of a reward for the time and points that we spend, why is this, again, just like you said, become a necessity? It should be a reward, and it's not.
Well, the thing is, too, in the next month, if you have Apollos and you're grinding on the B sets, and you're not getting your full points because of the very old base system that we have, you're never going to get ahead. I mean, you're just going to be perpetually behind. You're going to get discouraged and you're going to quit. And I know that they're working on changing the way that the base or the point system distribution thing is set up. But I mean, you want people to play your game. Let them play your game. I mean, it just feels like that doing some of this stuff is putting roadblocks in front of people's ability to actually play the game, and you're not going to enjoy the game if you're playing with crap all the time. So yeah, that one
B set is 1 million if you don't have the penalty, and new hull plus weapon plus special is 40 million. So 10 B sets a day in a 4-day raid, even if you don't have the penalty. Yeah, I don't think that's viable. Kicks, you wanna have some people actually like play that and test that and see how fun that is? Because I don't think that's fun.
Well, you know, that's a really good point, because there comes the game life, balance between, they did it the first 24 hours. People were working, or people had to work early the next day. Not everybody gets to play during the week, and so those that can only play on the weekends feel slighted. And it shouldn't be this huge big chore. I think it would have been a lot better if they'd have done something maybe a little bit different over the weekend, as opposed to late Thursday night, the first night of the raid, where a lot of people couldn't take advantage of it.
Well, the other thing too, that I've not seen a raid where so many upper tier players have been upset over how much time they have to put into the raid. I mean, back a couple of years ago, if you were top end, PvE, right? If you had the fleets to do the raid, you were done in a couple of hours. I mean, you got everything for a couple of hours, and then you could either help players, or you'd go out and hit bases and piss people off, or you would play the game. I mean, hell, man, you need a lot of points if you want to get everything. If you want to kit out your Phoenix, and it's we're saying you only want to build four ships right now, right? You need 8 of each of the armor, right? If you get 8 of each of the armor, plus getting the Phoenix and the weapon and the special, I mean, you're talking a lot of freaking points. It's not just like 60 or 100 million points. We're in the 300 million point range just to get stuff so you can continue being in the top area of PvE, which is ridiculous because it's supposed to primarily be a PvP game.
Even a very slim prize list for me, which was new stuff +4, corrosive, no missile, and tokens. Like, that feels like the bare minimum that is being asked. It's 210 million, 35 million a day, and that 35 million yesterday took me about 5-ish hours to get. I work and have a commute. Like, I don't have the time. Like, your game is not worth this amount of time. It's not that good.
Well, I mean, yeah, that is I think a little out of balance. The other thing as well is looking at the prizes. I mean, we have a defender, we have a conqueror hull, and then the fleet for next month. And the problem is how long is this stuff going to take to build? Because just 4 of the Phoenixes, at least my build, comes out to what is it, like 84 days, and that's with an officer and everything, and all my R&D, and that's a lot.
That's a good point, actually. I mean, that's the first thing, and actually that was mentioned in chat as well. This is the first time I've seen such an increase in a fleet, and it's only 4 ships. Mm-hmm. So you can go and do, and that's a huge jump. I mean, we've been getting it down to sort of like, 35, 40 days for a fleet of 4 and that sort of stuff. And all of a sudden now we've just doubled that.
Well, I mean, the thing too is, I also want to build a justice, right? To make sure I can at least have some sort of defense. I mean, my base sucks, but I don't want it to like just be an absolute farm. So I'd want a justice. And then with the changes in the overlays and stuff, if you want to use your pride, you can probably have to build that Visago. I mean, so we're looking at a whole lot of build time just from one raid. And I still have not gone off on the raid yet, Mark, just so you know.
No. Yeah. I mean, the justice has got a long start leg to it before you put anything on it. But my concern is it's not actually the Phoenix. The Phoenix actually build time of 4 days and a bit isn't that bad, to be honest. It's the missile. The missile that to go on it obviously is like 15 hours per missile or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, getting it out
double what it needs to be, at least double. In fact, it should not be that long because it's got so many slots that you need to fill it up as well. So it.
And even if you just like lowered the amount of time the missile took, maybe then you could get 4 shells out for VXP weekend without coining. That would be nice. But they gypped us 5 days worth of generic build tokens in the raid, so they better pay attention to that, and they better, plan around that, because they're planning for our ships to be sculled, and if we can't get 4 out for VXP weekend, well, we can't get them sculled. So
Yeah, I mean, I think it might be a combination of the weapon and the armor, because the armor is just, we're talking old school day and a half for each armor. I mean, and yeah, it just goes back to what are you asking your players to do? Because the time investment now that you're asking from just one raid is, especially if you want to get like as much of the crap as you want, 300 to 500 million points, and then you got to build all the stuff, and then you got to prioritize what you're going to be building, and whether or not you want to fall behind on PvP or if you want to risk falling behind on PvE. And I don't know. I think that we've lost a little bit of balance. I mean, I think they can look at it and correct it, but they definitely have to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, the Talon missile basically, if you got to R&D at 13, with your officer, you're talking at 13 hours. It's 13 hours per missile, basically. If you want, and then you want to crank those missiles up, what are you talking then? It's got to be, it's actually double, because I mean, you get 4 days, 15 hours for the ship, and then you get 4 days and 7 hours, or 4 days, nearly 8 hours, just for the missiles.
How many for just the armors?
Hang on, let me just have a look. I'm just
Depends on how deep you want to go. How bad you want to skimp and use like.
Well, let's go for what we were looking at, to be honest, and let's go for a couple of them's. Let's go with that and that and that. So just to put the armors on it, and obviously put one of the new ones on as well. So and the armor has another 5 days and 6 hours.
Yeah. See, I
Just
mean,
for armors.
That's
just,
item.
and the thing is while back in the day when the D5s first came out, it fit in the game. The time fit in the game, and I don't know that these times are fitting in the game anymore. I mean, a day and what is it, like a day and 18 hours or something? It is a lot of time for one panel of armor in a ship that you guys have designed to need the armor. I mean, I'm glad that they actually designed it where you can go with the D5 version of the charge, but at the same time, the time it takes is still, I think, a little excessive.
I mean, the build
overall.
I played around with was 19 days. Was the build I was looking at.
Yeah, mine's 20. It's just under 21.
So let's just hope there's not too much in the new FM content. So that's something to bear in mind as well. That obviously, we've not done too much about building, and showing some Phoenix builds. We've got a couple of rough ideas and that sort of stuff based off the preview that we were in. But we don't know what's coming out in the FM yet. So what if there's a new special? Maybe there's a, we know it's what type of damage we're going to be taking, but there isn't a special that negates that at the moment. So there could be a new one.
I'm thinking there might be like an MX3, but for missile and corrosive.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, just leave a special slot or two open just in case, because you don't want to put it on and then have to refit it off.
Yeah, I would. And then obviously, if you're going to be leaving the special slot open, I wouldn't put your armors on yet. Well, I wouldn't put your armors on before the VXP weekend anyway, because obviously it takes you longer to rank them up. But
and there's no time for that.
And there ain't no time for that. Yeah. So yeah, interesting situation. But yeah, so
I just think it's a little unbalanced. I think they can correct it. I think that if they took a look at it and put some effort into it, they could correct it where it's not as bad or it's a lot more palatable.
Yeah, and I don't understand the reasoning behind adding 37. If you compare it to the Scoria, you're adding 37% more build time. And basically, that's only really going to be an issue for the Phoenix, because the other ship that it's going to go on is the Liberator.
And you don't want it on there.
What?
You don't really want it on there, though. The problem is because obviously it's got no flak evade and that sort of stuff. So if people start putting flak evade on
I'm not sure if you don't want it on there.
Yeah, I have a couple builds that I'm playing with, and they definitely use them.
Oh yeah, you use them, but I wouldn't fill it up with them.
No, I wouldn't fill it up with them.
But what I'm saying is, most people probably have 30 days of build tokens for it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, I got you. Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is that's the other main ship that it's going to go on. But it's, that long build time, that increase in build time over the Scoria isn't impacting that. It's only impacting the Phoenix for most players, is what I'm saying. So what's the logic behind bumping this up if it's all it's going to do is drag out the raid halls as far as the builds? It seems like that's the place where they could really bring down the build time and make things more reasonable and not have too many impacts elsewhere in the game.
Well, they might have made it that long of a build time, and used its strength or its power, its overall power to kind of base that on. It's just, again, like, it's one of those things where if you take it individually, I can understand the thought process behind it. It's when you apply it globally that you go, okay, this doesn't quite seem right. It's just like with the prizes in the raid. If you look at one individually, I can go, okay, you know what? I can justify why you're doing this. But then when you step back and look at the whole thing, you're going, okay, there's a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the other problem is we don't know if we're going to get the D85D version of this in a couple of months.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, which would be really frustrating.
Oh my god.
I don't like you anymore.
My heart can't take this show, and we're only halfway done. Got to check for what I got redeemed. There's missiles.
People are struggling. I mean, just looking there, the missiles and that sort of stuff, and it's flak evade versus thing and the reload times and that sort of stuff. Actually, the DPS compared to Scuria, obviously, to the Talon, you're not losing a great deal, to be honest. If you can get the
Do you
special.
mean against buildings?
Yeah, no, against buildings. Yeah, no, I'm not talking about ships and that sort of stuff, because it's different. It's a different sort of thing, but it's interesting. I just don't see the difference between 4 days and 14 hours to load up one ship, and it's 3 days and 8 hours to load up the other one. Between the Scuria, obviously, and the Talon, it's just as Effie was saying, it's an awful lot of time per ship. I don't see it's just frustrating.
Yeah.
Annoying.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, again, it's one of those instances where they just looked at it individually, and like somebody there has got to take a look at the overall picture instead of each item individually. I think that's the issue. I don't know that they're actually taking.
Trees.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's stepping back to the forest.
And it takes like 2 minutes. Come on.
Well, the thing is, you have to be playing the game and understand a lot of it to see the forest. And I don't know how many I know some of the devs do, but I don't know if they're the ones that are deciding on. I'm positive they're not the ones that are deciding on these times and stuff. So it might be another one of those instances where one hand has to stop talking to the other a little bit more. I don't know.
But we know that's the final say.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope that they take a look at it. They've got to take a look at this, and they got to start doing it soon, because it's really disheartening to a lot of players, a lot of longtime players.
Andrew's in chat. Hey mate, how you doing? Yeah, he was just highlighting the point that obviously as soon as this raid's finished, then I hope you're in a good position to conduct yourself in this raid, because obviously the lower level targets from the standard FM are all going to change now. So that's it. Basically, we're done and dusted with the old format. So we're now onto the new targets. So just better.
Yeah, and anyone that's struggling, whatever. I mean, look, get somebody in your sector to run you one S target and get the mono if you don't have it. Because the mono and the zealous will be able to do your FM for the next year. Absolutely, positively, best choice that you can make if you are behind. That is the very first thing that you got to do. Get yourself 3 million points, get the mono, and stop building that and a zealous tank, and you will have a much easier time going forward from here.
Do you know what? The zealous tank is the number one thing to get, because I mean, even on my old account, I've got some standard citadels again with the H-sit, but I've got a zealous tank. And I'm doing 1-1-3s, no problem at all.
I'm gonna tell you, of all
zealous tokens too, if you can.
Yeah. That's why I built a pretty decent one with some, with this countermeasure and obviously a bit of Phonics freeze on it, and that sort of stuff, and it rocks the 1-1-3s. It really does. And the sit's a bit slow, but so what? It doesn't matter. Still get around and do it in one shot. So I'm quite content.
I mean, of all the stuff that I've designed in recent memory, that zealous tank is probably one of my favorite designs, just because of the way that it actually works now. I mean, it's fantastic. So yeah, but yeah, if you're struggling and you're not sure what all to do, and you're not able to get to tier 5 of the FM, I'm just telling you, the mono and the zealous will get you to tier 5. I mean, you might not be able to get to it next week, but you're going to get there much quicker than anything else that you could do in this raid.
Yeah, very much so.
How much is the Empyrean?
Hang on, I got the raid worksheet up. Let me take a look.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm
Actually.
just wondering if you're recommending the mono. I'm just wondering if the Empyrean might be a better.
Well, the
I
mono
have
The
the,
Empyrean is 2 million, and it works best with the Empyrean MX Prime, which is 6 million.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
for both the Empyrean and the MX, you're going to want 8 million.
And then
well,
you
the
want
mono
the
and the
Zealous.
Zealous, the mono Zealous combination is probably the easiest, like, turnkey thing that anyone could do for the FM.
Yeah, plus it's cheaper.
Well, it pairs well and it's easier. I mean, to me, it's easier to drive. I don't know.
With the slowdown, the speed up feature and all that, I still say the are going to be the easiest to drive. But I do agree, since the price, I would recommend Zelos and monos, even though I will be using Empyreans.
Yeah, because personally, I prefer driving my, at least it works in here, is driving my Citadels with the Zealous as opposed to the Monolith, because I'm tired of that herky-jerky nonsense.
Yeah. I don't actually touch. I've got a set of monoliths and I don't use them. I've just stopped using them altogether. They just annoy me, just on principle. It's just I'd rather. I mean, I haven't got any generalist hulls at all apart from the Zealous. I haven't built the the Emps or the flag one, but it's just.
Oh, they're fun.
No, well, they probably are. I mean, but it's just not the way I like to play. I mean, the thing I'm doing at the moment is just playing with the icebreakers, which I'm really enjoying. They're a right laugh. It's the way I like playing. You just zip round at 100 in 3.5 minutes and then fix them, and it's 3 coins to fix. So I can smash out 150 million on one Grease Monkey crew, which I have.
Until next series, I can't wait because you'll be able to just stack and run and.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Phoenix. I have to say. I mean,
much.
It's going to be. I think. I mean, we can talk about it now quickly if you want to, but I honestly think so long as they don't do anything silly with it, people are going to really enjoy the next raid format. If it stays.
No more creeping.
Yeah, no more of that creeping. I mean, it's the kiting, and I like that, and I think that assault style is always more fun anyway. But
Yep.
I don't know. I think they both have their strengths and their weaknesses. I mean, Garrison takes a little more skill, at least if you're using a mortar chucker combo, but it can be fun to just blitz around and just like you can't hit me, but I can hit you.
Oh, you can't blitz. I wouldn't say blitz. You got to kite. I wouldn't try blitzing.
More like talking more like constant speed instead of creep up and shell. It's more like constant speed. Go here, go there. Just like pull the enemy ships all around the map while you're plinking away at them.
No, I mean there is. I mean, it's dissecting that 100 that we saw in that preview. It was fun to do, to rip it apart by breaking down and peeling out some of the defender ships that they had in there and some of those drones, and then peeling away at 1 or 2 of the targets to make it easy for yourself. And it's nice. The thing I'm going to find confusing now is because the Phoenix does it in such a way that's almost, as you said, almost blitz-ish, but not really. It's kiting. Then how is the blitz hull going to be that much better? Because unless it can just drive through those drones that we saw, then I can't see how it's going to blitz.
Who knows? It might be actually a full auto haul.
Well, it must be virtually impervious then to,
Stun.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it had like 100% stun resistance the way the Ironclad does.
Well, it's more the corrosive, because if those things get to you and you kill them, they explode. And
But if I remember correctly, the drones, some of the drones that explode, they don't do corrosive damage when they explode. They actually stun your ships.
No, the stun comes from them getting damaged, and they don't do damage when they explode. It's when they get close to you because of the stun.
It's the range. They get close to you.
Yeah, it switches from penetrative to corrosive, and the corrosive damage that those things do are insanely high.
I don't know what it is. It's a crazy amount of corrosive, huge amount.
Yes.
I wonder if maybe the Skyfire is going to have special launch overrides like the Valkyrie. Every so often it launches a stun UAV.
It could have an aura. It could have an aura that obviously helps it for a corrosive. Yeah, you might be right there. I don't know. Like I say, I don't know. No, and nobody does. None of us have seen it, so it'll be interesting. But I know they're trying to make it worthwhile. So the Phoenix is a good hull. So if that's a good hull as well, then and people can have options. So
Yeah.
it's a shame we haven't seen it, because then people can make decisions on what they want to do in this raid. I mean, so that's Kickside and clever, and their product side being very clever. Get as much of your points to get the Phoenix in the raid, and then realizing, do you know what? I don't want the Phoenix. I want the other one instead.
How many people are going to get that hull, given what's happened the last couple raid sets? I mean,
I don't know, mate.
I might build a couple up tokens, but I don't plan on building it. Though I will say, when I first saw the Phoenix, I actually asked out loud and said, "Wonder if I can run a Zelos with that."
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, just thought about it. What I was wondering about, one of the Zelos is going to get a new missile and that sort of stuff that'll work, and you can use your generalists in there as well. I don't know. On the lower levels, obviously. And build a Zelos fleet, You're supposed to be able to chop them in, chop them out, aren't you?
Yeah,
but think about one other thing. If you remember, a lot of times the auto hull was designed to do the lower tiers as auto, where the Phoenix is designed to be your skill hull for your top level targets.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, that's never seems to have actually gone right through to fruition at the end, does it? Because I mean, we've used various things, including Tide Seekers, and we've used, I mean, we won't mention Ironclads. That's probably not the best example, is it? But obviously the Icebreaker's doing dandy, in the top one here. So,
well, we used the Ironclads to soak up the shots, and what was that one target that you were using them for, TSM? That's about the only good.
Oh yeah, the one that was that's right. The one that was in the Twin S set. Yeah, I remember that.
The
one.
107.
Yeah, that was it. The 107. Yeah.
I
don't know.
As much as I'd love to have it, I really hope they do take a look at generalist and do balance it out so it can do the mid-level targets.
Well, it's supposed to be the jack of all trades, but master at nothing, isn't it? So.
Yeah.
Well, it was doing the garrison cycle pretty well.
Yeah.
No, it is.
It's a little bit strong in this set.
The only thing I haven't seen is somebody running like 3 or 4 Zelos to see what a matched group can do. So I saw that in the last type where somebody was running 3 or 4 and was smashing. Was it 113s they were smashing or something like that? I can't remember. Was it 103s? I can't remember what they were doing, but
yeah,
something like that anyway.
I know one Mauser Zelos right now can do an 84 for for no damage.
That's pretty decent.
I think 3 to 4 Zelos might even be able to do a level 100.
So it's a lot of building just to give it a go, though, isn't it? It's the sort of thing we're trying. It's a lot of sort of thing we're trying to preview, isn't it? But they probably wouldn't let you do it anyway. But anyway, right. Has anybody got anything else you want to talk about before George goes off on the general bit that he wants to talk about?
Probably something.
Let me get some popcorn real quick.
Probably something everybody said before. It's just they just keep changing the rules on the fly, and these messages that come up, just like the going back 20 minutes where they talked about the reducing the damage in 84 and bringing the ship ahead. It's like they just keep changing things too often. You can't keep up, and I know that's been said, but
sorry.
No, I'm done. Go.
I think it's interesting because also they had the gluttony and the sloth were added to the prize list, but that was only like 2 days in. It's like you got more blueprints from da-da-da-da-da. Like,
where's the D30R?
There's a D30R. Yeah, so in chat, my brother just said actually there's somebody I didn't know because I haven't been on really. I mean, when I do have the chat down, so there's somebody in our sector who's actually doing 100s with Zeloses, with obviously the
like
Quake
cannon.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm not surprised.
Three using three ships.
Nice.
And what's his repair time, I wonder?
I don't know, mate. We just said that he's doing them. So if he's doing them regularly, then the day he's doing his raid. His decision. If that's the way he's gone, at least he's He's got his 3
Yes,
holes.
but
So.
I'm a little weirded out if he's doing it for like 2 to 3 coins, about the same price as icebreakers are doing them.
Well, I'd be pretty pissed, but that's not the
That would
point.
be
The fact
tilting.
is, he's still managing to do it. So if he's content
Yeah.
carrying on, then he's content carrying on. Everyone does their raid their own way, you know. I mean, it's just yeah.
Maybe that's why the Zealous refit token costs as much as an icebreaker refit token. Maybe they're on equal footing. But yeah,
Well, he's got a lot of points anyway. So he's got all the top holes. So
oh, good on him. Yeah.
Well,
No,
I'm
I think
actually I'm finishing up my raid today. Finally, I'm glad.
yeah, I'm done. I must admit, I could get some bits and bobs, but I can't be bothered. I've had enough.
I guess.
Oh, go ahead.
I guess one last thing. That the blueprints are interesting, but one last thing. The tips and tricks or whatever says, oh yeah, use explosive armor and this and that. I challenge people from Kicks to use explosive armor on their back line and their mortars and this and that, and go through the raid on like a real life server, not their test server, not their LAN with, you know, God ping and next to no interruptions. Like, play the game that we play. Like, even if you have to use like funny money, sure, play the game we play, keep track of the coin you used, convert that to real world dollars, and see what you have to spend for one of your raids, and see how fun it is.
And remember, no one's going to spend $9 per target.
Yeah, I think
that's true.
I think we should send all the devs over to Nine's house to test it.
They would
Yeah,
never play their game if they used my internet.
yeah. Well, don't blame them for your bad ping, mate. Anyway, right. Okay. We're getting to like the last 10 minutes anyway. So, George, did you want to just round things off quickly on the raid aspect, and then we'll just open the mic up to anything other than raiding?
Yeah. So the raid has overall gone well for me. I've actually enjoyed most of it. I did notice the first night that I was having some odd things happen, and one of the two biggest ones that I had happen to me was that I was having this random ghost mortar, and I call it a ghost mortar because nothing seems to see it and nothing can shoot it down, but when it lands it does a good amount of damage to my fleet. And you know, I drive stacked, so it did like a half hour, 45 minutes of damage, and you know, it annoyed me, and I was like, oh, maybe I just didn't see it, or my stuff got overwhelmed. Right, that was the first time. The second time I was like, okay, I know that was nothing got overwhelmed. And then I had a turret that it's a rocket turret that's on the third island, right, you know, past the two entry ones, the one behind that. I had paused. I mean, it was not like a second after. It wasn't out. It was dead. There was no more smoke on the island. I went forward to go and engage something else, and the rocket turret fired and killed my entire fleet. And at first I thought it was just like, you know, maybe it's my connection, it's latency or whatever. And then yesterday I noticed a lot of people were reporting similar things. So I started contacting people that I could, and I started trying to get the TFC community to help with getting videos. And we have one post on the TFC right now that if you have a video that shows any of this stuff, please put it on there. Kickside is trying to track this stuff down. They can't reproduce it, but they know that something's going on because, you know, you can't argue with the videos. I mean, send in tickets if it happens to you, because that also helps them, you know, kind of see where everything's happening and stuff. But what we've found so far is that there are either one or a pair of mortars that will come through and not be hit by anything. Like, they won't even, your countermeasures won't even attempt to hit them. That's one of them. Dead turrets firing. I've seen a couple of videos that show it. We have one really good video, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who posted it, but he actually has it where he's hit the turret. It's a mortar turret. It's the only mortar turret on the turret cluster. It dies at like 15 seconds at the 15-second point in the video, and then at the 19-second point in the video, after everything's like dead, this mortar shows up out of nowhere in the middle of the air and proceeds to land on his fleet. And it's a fantastic video for this. And if you guys can get more videos, screenshots, anything like that, throw it onto that article. I mean, not the article, the post to help along. I will say I'm a little upset by this because these are some significant like errors that are costing people fleets and damage, and I'm not sure if we can find out what's going on, but I'm hoping that with enough help they're gonna be able to track this down, and soon. Another thing that has been showing up, and I'm not sure what is causing this, and this should be corrected, I think, but on occasion you'll see a Deadeye go through, hit a ship, and the armor will go down, but the charged armor will not. That's supposed to have been fixed, but if you see that or catch a video of that as well, please put that up on that post. It should help with them tracking everything down. But other than those issues, which are really, really annoying and very troubling because customer service is absolutely clueless about them, I've had some very interesting conversations with them. Yeah, they're absolutely clueless. Other than that, the raid's actually been pretty good for me. I wrote a nice little walkthrough for people to help them with the 100 if they can do the 100s. And it generally works, except for when you run into one of these errors, which really ruins your freaking day. I mean, completely ruins your day. So I'm hoping that they fix that. Kickside, please, please, please get somebody on that will find it and fix it, because it is ruining a lot of people's days, and it's getting worse as the days in the raid progress, from what I'm seeing. So that's my bit. That's about as ranty as I'm going to get, but I mean, it is very, very annoying.
That was pretty mellow, mate, compared to what you've been the last 24 hours. That was quite good.
Well, I mean, I haven't lost a fleet today, but yesterday and the day before, I lost a fleet from turrets that didn't exist, which really kind of pisses me off.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's I can understand, like I said before, if it's a mortar that gets through, okay, yeah, you know what, I'll go have a drink and do something and come back after a half an hour and it'll be repaired. But when you lose a fleet, that's like 7 hours of repair. I mean, shit, that ruins my day. And you send in a ticket to CS, and they're like, oh, so it's your latency, it's your connection, or your countermeasures were overwhelmed. No, I'm fairly confident I know how that game runs. That's not what happened.
Yeah,
but,
I get you, mate. It is. Yeah. It is annoying, I must admit, and I don't know what it is. Like I say, we've sent in tons of stuff, from various different directions. I'll say one thing about the CMs. Look, at the end of the day, it's the same as any company. There are a lot of people that work in, obviously, I mean, for over here, don't call it CMing, but people that work on those call lines and that sort of stuff. A lot of them just follow a flow chart, and the flow chart gets refreshed once a week or once a month. They just get a new flow chart and they go, "What's the problem?" Down for the flow chart. They get to the bottom. If they can't solve it for you, they'll come up with a textbook answer. Always question sometimes what they say, and just go, would you mind referring this one up, because I don't believe that's the correct answer. Don't just blow off on that sort of stuff, because they're only just doing the basic job and that sort of stuff, and probably getting the very most basic wage as well. So yeah. I'm not defending anybody at Kickstarter. I'm just talking in general. It's a general consensus, Yeah, I mean, I will say this, Kickstarter did respond pretty quickly to when we aired our concerns, so that's a plus. Yeah. I mean, I will say that I would much rather have had it fixed by now, but I'm a greedy bastard sometimes. Me too. I mean, like I said, it didn't affect me because I'm not doing that type of raiding, that sort of stuff. But I agree, it's affecting an awful lot of people. But I know that there's a person trying to look at it, but it's difficult. I mean, we have sent in quite a lot of videos, but I don't know if they can do anything about it, or even if they can replicate themselves at their end, as was said before. Our ping rates and our the fact that where we are globally is will clearly have an impact, obviously, and as well. But I don't know.
That actually may be part of the issue. I think it'd be all and end all. I mean, I'd love for them to fix it now, but if fixing it's going to cause a whole bunch of other stuff, I'd rather they wait the 4 days and fix it properly.
Really, I would rather have them take it down for a day, give us an extra day, and fix it.
Well, but not.
I mean, I don't want to lose.
Not be tinkering while we're raiding is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. The hotfix thing kind of is an issue sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Or can
don't
introduce
forget,
another thing.
there was a time a few years back where they tried to fix how missile retargeting worked, because missiles were occasionally retargeting from a destroyed turret to something way the hell on the back of somebody's base. They tried to fix it, and they wound they wound up breaking missiles completely.
All the 150 retarget range. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I actually that reminds me of I got to bring something else up too. So a couple days ago, Laredo had posted something on a couple of different pages and in the forums about the UTT transformer and gluttonies and all that other stuff. Okay, and what they've found so far is this that it actually is a 75. Like there was a little bit of debate with yeah. So there was a little debate between he and I about whether or not it was a 75% cap or if it was 75% of your cloak. And what we found was that it is a 75% cap. However, because of when the code was written, anything, if you have like a gluttony or something that is over 100% cloak, especially when you get into like the 120 to 150 range, funny things happen with the UTT transformer. And rather than have anybody try and refit to take advantage of this, that's going to get fixed. It's going to be a cap of 75. So don't waste your time refitting so you can take advantage of the glitch, because it's already being looked at and it's going to be fixed, because that is not how it's supposed to work. Right now, currently, if you have like 100 and whatever, like a really large cloak, you can get pretty damn close, if not bypass the UTT transformer, even with the 390 on it. And that's just something that's just messed up right now that they are already aware of. So I don't want to hear anybody refitting and going, oh my God, they changed it and they nerfed it. It's not. It's supposed to be a 75% cap in the base. Period.
Yep. It is, and that's since obviously the original subs obviously got, so the Reapers got zapped. So all subs after that are supposed to have a 75 cap. So don't assume that this new one wouldn't have, because it should have. It just isn't at the moment, but that'll get squared.
Yeah.
So I just on a lighter note, I just thought, just to finish off, then I'm just thinking, who got what interesting freebie this week from Kickstarter just before the raid kicked in? I got 9 1-hour build tokens, repair tokens. Sorry, somebody got some coins. I got 3. Well, so
I don't
just
think I got anything.
I got
George stole mine.
Who are you guys been sleeping with?
Hey, you know me, Robin.
1,000 coins.
I didn't get anything.
You don't get anything?
I didn't get anything either, but apparently George got twice as much as everyone else.
I think I got 9. I think I got 9. Yeah, I think it was 9. It was. I was surprised. I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was like that. And
so when
got 100 coin.
So when you're talking about tickling things, we know who is tickling what to get the 9 days or the 9 hours of repair time, right?
Hey, what about that 250 ticket? We know something's going on there.
Yeah, that guy coins like crazy. Of course he's going to get 250 back on a ticket. Come on.
It's about ratios, isn't it? Yeah. Exactly that. But yeah, it's interesting. So I mean, I don't know if everybody else got in chat there. Just have a little look down for some of the people who are saying that some people got 5 repair tokens. Someone didn't get anything at all. Some people got some 6 1-hour repair tokens. There you go. Someone got 6 there. So it is pretty random what people were getting.
Yeah, all those people that got nothing, stop hanging out with 9s, man. I'm just telling you. And Robin, I guess. I don't know.
See, I would have been happy if I got some, because thanks to your video, George, little shout out, with the Bullseye crew, originally I was doing 35 minutes, 100. By the end of it, I would run the Bullseye for 40 minutes, be able to do 4 100s, and I got it down to an hour and a half damage for all 4 runs.
I just don't understand why you're running with a BB crew. I mean, because that
what
fleet.
other use do we have at the moment besides base hitting?
You're not
selling mine on eBay in months.
Yeah, sell it on eBay.
I did have someone that I was offering to sell my services with my Bullseye crews for 75 coins a piece.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
You can get a
I tell you
bullseye
what crew
72.
has been working really well has been just a little old creeping death. I've been having
Yes.
a blast.
Yeah, I'm
I
impressed
had
with that.
a stack of them, and
Yeah.
they're really easy to roll, and so
19% or something. It's building damage
Yep.
or whatever it is.
yep,
Or
19%
Caesar.
building
I've been-
damage.
What are you guys using with them though? Because I've been having my best two right now are Sea Serpents and Demo Squad. Those two will get me under 10 minutes.
If you're
for
using
100.
generalist, Sea Serpent is excellent because we know how bad the Emps turn round. You know. So
Yeah. No, I did. I haven't even tried a sea serpents. I'll give that a go tonight, George. I just happened to have a stack of creeping deaths left over, and they were real easy to roll this week. But
I even had a player use a DOS crew this week as well.
I got a DOS crew. I'm just afraid to use it. Someone,
if you're,
whenever, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say if she's running monos that the Sea Serpent works well. If you're running Icebreakers, which I think Mark is, I could definitely see the other one doing well.
Yeah, and to be honest, the other one is the Molotov Maidens as well. The blue one.
Yeah,
that works really well with Icebreakers because of the splash in the spread. It's just nuts.
And
just kite right through, and it just does really, really well.
Mark, did you ever try Hellfire Heathens with your Icebreakers?
No, I don't know the way that crew works personally.
It's
Rocket crit
Splash
chance.
and Crit Chance.
I want to take a look at something real quick because I was thinking mortar heads might be a possibility.
Yeah, it would help.
yeah, it's just not a high.
But watch out on that DOS if you actually do use it. When I posted my video for the bullseye, I actually had someone tell me they tried a DOS with it, and apparently they were not getting the same results.
With what ship though?
Getting worse.
With what hull?
They were trying it with, I think it was monos.
Yeah, but you would never do that, surely. I wouldn't use it on mono fleet. Not a hope. Only with the Icebreakers. I wouldn't use any 3-star crew, you know, on a something you got to drag around a target. Otherwise, you're just going to you do about 6 targets and that's it. It's run out. It's a bloody waste. I mean, I can go through and
I don't know. The demo one with the monos works really, really well.
If you're stacking, you're not using and that tip that you had in your video, George, instead of sending your monos off to the side on that very first turret, doing it your way saves a lot of time. But
cool.
I wouldn't be splitting the fleet with those things.
Well, it's kind of weird, but I honestly don't even use crews, and I've got a little hodgepodge that I've been hitting the 80 sets with. Nice Zealous lead. I bought the charged armor. I didn't have that. Bought one of those, immediately put it on the Zealous. Made a world of difference. But hodgepodge, I've got an H set, a couple of Citadels with it, and a single mono, as weird as that sounds. And most of the mortars are 85Ds, and I'm taking out entire islands in about 3 salvos with it.
that's that wouldn't surprise me, especially with Judge. Yeah, because you've got Judge on your sits. Have you got the H sit as well?
Actually, mostly I've got the 85Ds on them. I do have a few Judges, and they just I'm taking out islands. I'm taking out. I think out of a complete 80 set, I have to target maybe 2 torpedo towers, because when you take out the island, the splash and everything on it, it's like killing things halfway across the screen.
Yeah,
the 85D is an amazing mortar, I have to say. It's probably one of the best ones. I mean, most people are taking off the over-unders and that sort of stuff for that mortar.
It's worth it.
Yeah, definitely. It is. It's only because the inherent splash is 22, you know, and the fact that it's, you know, it's, what is it? Is it 5,800 flat for the building damage? I think it is.
Something like that.
Something like that. 56, 58, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's 5.8. And reload time's quite low. It's quite decent. Yeah, I mean, it's a bloody good mortar, I think. It's heavy, but it's a good mortar. Anyway, right. So anybody else got anything I want to just cover other than raiding, just quickly? Nines, anything from you?
This gave me 20 lucky bastards, and I've been using lucky bastards.
Funny guy.
Only you.
Mark, did you want to go over a couple of the
I want to get a couple of the builds right at the very end. Yeah, if you could.
Phoenix. Yeah. I mean,
have you got anything up on your screen, mate? If you could prepped anything, I just wanted if you.
I got the two. Yeah, I got the two of the ones that I had on the test server.
Well,
I mean,
okay. Well, let's just go through those now then, if you want. Mind. You bring it up, and I'll present you and that sort of stuff, and we'll just have a quick thoughts.
There we go. Let's see. We can see that. Can y'all see that?
Yeah, you should be on now, mate.
It looks a little blocky to me, but I can see it.
He's on 8-bit.
This is yeah. I'm on 8-bit. I'm old school. I still use 8 tracks and stuff. So this is what I ended up using at the end of the test server, or actually for most of the test server, and I chose not to run the charged armor and see how I worked with the D5CO, and this did actually really well. I only ran 4 hulls total instead of 5 like most of the other people were doing, and I got it down to under an hour and a half of damage. It was still 3 coins, but it was 3 coins, and I was running non-charged armor. If the targets don't change, and this is the thing that everyone has to understand, because we're going to put a couple of these builds up on the page because people are asking, but we've only seen the very first iteration of this target. We don't know that it's the final version. We don't know what they're going to change. We don't know anything. Because right now, in this target, I went full-on offense because of the drones. I added the Magnus 2 because this actually boosted the speed of this fast enough to get ahead of the drones. So if I messed up a little bit, I wouldn't get within range of that corrosive gun of theirs. And a lot of the damage, most of the damage that I was finding was missile damage. And I might change this to add another missile armor if I was going with no charged armor. I did find the new special worked fantastic with this weapon.
Yes.
Agility 4 was an absolute necessity. I mean, an absolute necessity. But it was enough on its own to get me unstunned faster than the drones and the surrounding stuff. So I didn't have to waste any armor slots on stun armor. I know a lot of people were running that as well, and I didn't feel the need for it at all. Garrison battery.
If you don't have it, I think Shield Electronics is your next best, even though you've not got hardly any evade them, but you need that anti-stun. If you get caught up by those drones, oh my god.
Yeah. Well, actually, Agility 3 might actually be able to pull you off either
what's Agility 3 ranked to R15? I'll have a quick look. Well, you can keep talking, mate. I'll have a quick look.
It might do enough to get you out of the stun just before the drones to get you out of the way.
61.9%. But you remember those Apollos I put in there, the 100 and that in the raid in the preview? I had them about 114% stun resistance. Didn't make jack shit difference.
Well, the 114 wasn't accurate because that showed additive.
Yeah.
So
which is incorrect, isn't it?
Figure out. Yeah. You'd have to figure out what it actually was. But then I went with guided missile system and the garrison battery, and this worked out really well. Like I said, if I was gonna do after this raid, this is probably gonna be what I'm gonna run. I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna go with 3 C1Ms, just because there's so much missile damage. The drones actually fire a cannon that does penetrative damage at range. So when you're running away from them, they're shooting a cannon at you, but it does penetrative damage. The fire fields are corrosive from one of the turrets, but your turret defense also, mitigates that a little bit. And
George, do me a favor, mate, if you wouldn't mind. So we've looked at the second one. Pop that into the second slot, and then put our favorite Cody at the front end, mate.
Oh, so put this one here and then put the Kodiak here?
Yeah, drop it in. Let's have a look at the missile resistance then, if you could.
Where the bloody hell is it?
It's still under assault.
In bottom right.
End of third. I do have a question though. Did you just go garrison battery for the weight, or?
Probably, yeah, it was, because obviously it builds faster. But I mean, I actually went normal. What does it say now? So yeah. Well, look at the difference with that code in there. So that's 1.2 million. Yep. Back up to 99 missile defense. That's much better.
Yep. And that's why I'm saying if they give us a flag, it has got to perform as well as this.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'll just tuck that in the corner. Not the macro. Yeah. The other 4 ships. Yeah.
I may.
Yeah. Because if if it doesn't perform as well as a Savage, I mean, no one's going to get the bloody thing, and we're already burnt from the gridiron. So now, you know, you guys have Kixeye has us all as players on the edge. We don't trust the auto hull. We don't trust the flagship now. I mean, you know, you got to restore our faith.
Yeah, I mean, don't
I would
forget,
say personally.
if you haven't got Savage, there's other holes that will give you the 50% penetrative as well. So
yeah, I mean, personally, if they came out with something that was exactly like this, except in that skin, I'd be fine. I wouldn't give a crap. I would actually pay the 40 million or whatever the frick they want to get it, because it is worth it. If it comes out and it's less than this, you know what? I'm gonna throw my Kodiak in the corner and my Savage in the corner and just be done. But yeah, so this is what.
So that one there, then do me a favor and crank that. In fact, no, the second one down. Sorry, not that one there. This one there's potential. Yeah, crank that up and just scroll that one out a second, and then click on half repair. Just skull it and then half repair it as well. And what have we got us down to? So just over the hour, look, okay. And that's what I found in the preview as well. I found it was a very cheap fleet to fix. I have to say, even when it was dead, it was a ridiculously cheap fleet to fix. I did like it, I must admit. But there was, were
you running 4 or 5?
I think I had 5 going, and then the one that we were streaming, I dropped down to 4 ships after a while. So it was a really good fleet. You know, because in the day, you either go through and do a single hit, and some of those big hulks you could just kill in one go. But actually, even if you had to spin around and do it a second time, it just took a bit longer. But actually, you weren't doing any harm, because it wasn't, you know, if you were driving correctly, they weren't doing any damage to you. So what if you've only got? You could probably get away with even less. It's only when it comes to doing the towers, isn't it? You know, the target, the turrets. I mean, and killing the drones off, where it's a bit more important.
Well, that pancake, that psycho pancake was a trick. Like with 4 of them, I could do it. With 3 of them, I mean, you could probably do it, but you might end up running out of room, or you might have to dip into one of those corrosive clouds.
Yeah. Oh god, those things. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
flip back up to that one that's not got so much charge on it, mate. Just have a quick look. What's that one there then? So that's about an extra 20 odd minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't. I have the sharing bar, so I can't see.
Yeah, sorry.
It's another 40.
We can drag the sharing bar out the way, I think. So
another 40, but that's 3 D5s, and it's it's not as bad. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, the thing is it's with that Savage on, it's gonna be really good against missiles, and I just hope they keep that in mind. Whoever's designing the flagship, please keep this in mind, because this is what we're looking for.
That's the baseline. Yeah, exactly that. It is.
How easy do you think it would be to have the Savage in there if you were, let's say, running a macro? Do you think the drones?
No, you wouldn't have an issue. It'd be fine.
Okay.
It would be fine.
if they don't change it, if they don't have a long range something. I mean, I don't know that they're gonna. What worries me is the fact that it was so well balanced when we saw it, and I was so impressed because it was the first iteration, right? I mean, it was very fun target. It was really well balanced, and I just have a feeling that they're going to tweak it.
It was like one of those unboxing videos that worked. You know, it just came, go bang. You can stream this now, guys. You streamed it and went, that was a really good experience. I actually enjoyed that. That's a rare thing. So much
fun. And we were taking, and this is the thing, is we were taking damage, right? And that was like, if that was the S target, that would be 3 coins, which is more than I'm paying right now. Okay. But I was actually having fun. I probably would not mind if it was like a 6 million payout, like it is this month. I don't think I'd mind paying that 3 coin.
I mean, other people streamed as well, and I mean, I know BV guys streamed as well and that sort of stuff. And a couple of us did, and I think in general everybody was enjoying the experience. Like I said to you, George, at the time, when I'm actually having some fun here.
Yeah, it was fun.
Out of the box.
I mean, and I think it's because it was well balanced. I mean, it was just well balanced. Right out of the box, you just went in, you had some fun, and like I said, you took damage, and it wasn't insignificant damage. I mean, it was significant damage, and I'm sure it would go down once we get all our buffs from our alliance and the charged armor and all that stuff. So it's probably gonna be, if they left it alone, I could probably get it to just under an hour damage, right? So that'd be 2 coins per S target, and honestly, I would find that acceptable. And the thing is it wouldn't be that difficult in terms of driving. Like more players would be able to do that than not, which is not the same as trying to run these hundreds. So I would think that that's a better potential for people to engage in the game.
Yeah.
But
So
that's
the only
just
thing
me.
I would like is just to see a special come out that mixes obviously pen deflection with obviously some corrosive deflection, just like we've had obviously with the ironclads, because then that would make my specials choice a little bit different, I think, to be honest. My armor choice is I think a bit different. And for those that haven't got the full agility, there are other things you can do. You notice in the raid as well, there's the stun plate as well. That's also there, as in the anti-stun plate. You could put one of those on, which does help a little bit. It's the same build time, I think it is, and same fixed time as well as what's currently on view at the moment. It's a great looking thing,
But the
isn't it?
Phoenix has the stacking aura of the stun resist.
Yeah, the repair's 30.
Yeah.
Repair is, where is the repair? 30.
30,
So,
yeah, it's the same, isn't it? Because I did try in the preview, I tried 3 of those on it, and actually, I mean, it was still getting stunned. Don't get me wrong, it was still getting stunned even when I stacked them. So nothing gets away with being stunned. It's just the stun time, the duration.
Yeah.
So yeah, we tried different ideas and that sort of stuff. I mean, not set on anything yet because A, we've not seen the real target, and B, we don't know what's coming out in the FM. But in general terms, something comes out in the FM to do with the next raid format. So
I'm hoping this time that they give us the lesser in the FM because of the fact that they gated everything behind. They gated the special and weapon behind stuff this ships this time. So I'm hoping that means that those are the top tier tech for this application, and that the FM is going to get the lesser ones. And yeah, people are going to be upset because they're putting stuff in the FM so we can't get tokens. But you know what? I won't have to refit. I will be happy that way. I don't want to refit 17 times. You know what I mean?
You have just saved that refit time that you would have spent if they had put something better in, and more.
Yeah.
And frustration.
Okay. Good. Right, there you go. That was 15 minutes of worthwhile time, I think. I hope you agree with me. To be honest.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's that's some crazy thoughts from some crazy guys, but there we go. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. And like I said, I hope they don't change that target because it really was fun. It was really fun. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah, it was. I did as well. Right. So we'll close off here for the live piece of the show and that sort of stuff, and there'll be an after show for those who want to come back in. We'll just say I hope the rest of your raid goes good for you and that sort of stuff. I've seen some crazy points out there. Some people who are doing some batty things and getting crazy ass numbers, but can't imagine what they're collecting. But unless they're prepping for others, obviously, because yeah, at least the retreat button's there, which is thankful. So you can. and I have done a complete raid for somebody by just prepping, and they've just got the 3 million bonus, and they've got everything. So it's possible to do. Right. Thanks all for coming on and airing your views, and thanks for all those guys in chat. And we'll speak to you. It may be Tuesday, but it may not be Tuesday. We'll see yet. We'll let you know on the page if it's not Tuesday. It just depends. We probably will be Tuesday, to be honest, because there's no point delaying it right to the very end of the raid. That's a bit daft. So we'll probably do Tuesday, and we'll probably just we'll catch up hopefully on some of the feedback we've been giving to Kicks and some of the feedback that you've provided us in some of the videos. So all I'll say is I'll see you next week. Take care. Thanks all.
Yep.
Thanks all.
Good luck.
Good luck.